I have had so many of my contacts let me know they can't speak. I am down to a number. Well, had a couple of bond contacts tell me the same thing. Hey, after their meetings that they have had, phone calls they've had in the last day or two saying, hey, we can't comment. Had a contractor do the same thing to me, which is very unusual. I've worked with this person too long and saying, hey, we had our meeting. It's about rate, but I can't tell you anything. That made me feel good. I was waiting for that one. That one made me feel really good. Doesn't give me an idea of timing, but it certainly tells me that is probably much closer than further, or I wouldn't have gotten that answer. All right. See it. Al Sadir issues a statement on Iraqi borders. Of course, he's still ticked at the West and the in the U.S. because they believe we work with Israel to unsettle the whole world, and they may be right, especially when I share another story from this evening. They wanted to say how they are handling it is they are strengthening their borders and keeping it to themselves. In other words, they are not going to stoke more war. They are going to make certain that Iraq stays stable. This to me is big because it shows how dedicated they are. Iraq 2 years ago would not have done this. So to me, this is a great one because it is clear to me that they are fighting for that stability for a reason. And I very much believe that reason is so that they have stable and can justify a new rate. This is the one that I was talking about earlier. Why are pallets of U.S. dollars showing up in Damascus? Earlier today, and magazine sources in Syria provided the video below. The sources indicate that the video was shot in a government building in Damascus after the fall of Assad. The building was in the process of being looted at the time. Have you guys seen this one yet? Pallets of U.S. cash. Now it gets even more interesting. The video shows shrink wrap pallet U.S. $100 bills. On the pallet, a QR code is visible. That QR code leads you to the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. No further information can be gleaned from the QR code. Pallets. Look at that. Pallets and pallets of $100 bills. Those same QR codes were used in the early 2000s. It looked like to me a newer $100 bill through it. I'm not 100% certain, so I'm guessing it is a little more recent than that. Anybody know off the top of their head when the new $100 bills came out with the little gold? I'll call it what's a good word to call it? A leprechaun pot of gold. It's hunted around with a white nose. That's too funny. Garbled. I don't know why I'm getting garbled, but that is probably an uplink issue because they have had a lot of those. Let's double check, make certain that it didn't change my mic. Nope. Mic is still what it's supposed to be. Somebody said 2019. No, it had to be earlier than that. Ellen, I mean, think about this. We were squeezing in pallets of $100 bills for some reason into Syria. We have reports coming out of Iran, other areas that we were training about 11,000 ISIS people, the U.S. was on a base in northern Syria. And we don't know if that story is true or not. Nobody here in the U.S. seems willing to try to verify it. We already know our history of starting revolutions and overthrows or whatever, but I'm telling you, this is damning. Why are we what are we trying to, who are we trying to pay off? Who are we trying to finance? Are we trying to make certain they have plenty of money to go buy arms from somewhere else off the black market, from the merchant of death? Who knows? But I can tell you the fact that there are pallets of $100 U.S. bills, this stinks, and there needs to be somebody explaining a whole hell of a lot right now. A whole heck of a lot. Yep. Where's it coming from? It still has, guys, it still has the shrink wrap, the coding from the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. Federal Bank in New York, somebody signed off. See those $100 bills, the newer style? Somebody signed off to send pallets. And if you'd seen some of the other videos that are being posted, there are more than one of these pallets We are talking, I don't know how much sits on a pallet of $100 bills. Maybe somebody can look it up, but somebody has a lot of answering to do in our government. Who approved this? Did the president even know? Did anybody know? Did the Department of Defense do this? Was it the CIA? I would guess, yeah, $1 billion for Obama. Barry did it. Ask John McCain. Yeah, we're missing trillions from the Pentagon budget, and we're finding pallets of money in Syria, right? I mean, we found pallets and pallets of new bills in Iraq when they overthrew Saddam Hussein. We sent pallets and pallets to Afghanistan. They found those too, along with the arms. I mean, to me, it seems like we're doing our best as a nation. Somebody's printing these, somebody's signing for them, somebody's agreeing to let these pallets out. What does it say about us and our government? Catherine looked it up, 2015 on those bills. So we know it's at least that new. I would make my best guess in the last 3.5 years. All right, now this one I liked. Whole of society resilience, a new deterrence concept in Taipei. Taiwan, they want everybody ready for disasters, man-made, war, hurricanes, typhoons. So they are stepping up to make themselves more resilient. Climate change, military, you name it, that's their excuse. But they are trying to make their entire society more resilient. You know what would work, Taiwan? Something we used to do in the U.S. You used to be able to go in high school, middle school probably, and take shooting classes, gun safety classes. You had to. Now, what happens, Taiwan, if you trained your entire populace to be able to defend themselves? United States should do the same thing. I would think any government that's worried about somebody overtaking them or whatever would want to train and arm all of their citizens. It's the reason nobody wants to assault America, because of the number of guns and trained people we have in our communities. When I was reading this one, I was like, we need to do the same thing here. We need to take it to another level of resilience, from farming, canning, preparing ourselves, learning how to use and defend ourselves.